RetroDaze.
Listen, I'm not going to stand here and argue that fast food isn't good. It might not be home cooking, but sometimes a greasy burger and fries from your favorite fast food joint just flat out hits the spot. Man, just talking about this has me daydreaming about a 5-layer burrito and some cinnamon twists.
Still, what I will argue is that as kids, there was one thing that trumped the food any day of the week: free promo items. Sure, the chicken nuggets were good, but that Super Mario Bros. 3 toy was better. What follows are a few of our favorite fast food promos from the 80s and 90s. Contrary to popular belief, it wasn't McDonald's that first bundled toys with their meals. That distinction goes to Burger Chef, one of McDonald's early competitors who started offering the Fun Meal back in 1973. Burger Chef also happens to be the first fast food restaurant to sell a burger, fries, and drink combo, which they called the Triple Treat. During this time, McDonald's was actually losing steam in the family and kid market after redesigning their previously vibrant colored restaurants to look more high-end. They did away with the bright yellows and reds and replaced the decor with bricks. Kids weren't having any of it, not when they could go to Burger Chef for a fun meal that came with a toy. Eventually, the marketing team for McDonald's realized they had to make a change. Bob Bernstein, whose ad agency worked for McDonald's, came up with the idea of the Happy Meal after watching his son eat breakfast cereal. He decided having a box with games and trivia, plus the addition of a surprise toy inside, like the cereal box had, would reinvigorate the fast food chain's kid appeal. Surprisingly, the Happy Meal epiphany took a while to catch on with franchise owners, but eventually, in 1979, it went national. Although Burger Chef unsuccessfully sued McDonald's and later settled out of court with Burger King over their Fun School meal, there was no stopping the kids' meal train from chugging along. In 1977 and 78, Burger Chef partnered with Star Wars in what would be the first ever movie tie-in to a kids' meal. They created 7 different offerings with the meal, which included cardboard punch-out pieces to create models, puppets, and card games. Specifically, you could get the Land Speeder, Darth Vader card game, R2-D2 puppet, R2-D2 and C-3PO Life Pod game, C-3PO puppet, TIE Fighter, or the X-Wing Fighter. And there was another movie deal through Burger Chef as well, offering one of 4 free Star Wars posters with the purchase of a large Coca-Cola. Perhaps inspired by Burger Chef's promotion, in 1979, McDonald's spun up a Star Trek the Motion Picture promotion. This would have been the second major movie tie-in promotion ever for a kids' meal, so it arrived with a generous helping of fanfare, including their TV commercial starring a Klingon. Kids could snag one of 5 different Happy Meal boxes based on the movie, each with a different toy inside. There were glitter iron-ons of Captain Kirk or Dr. McCoy, navigation wrist bracelets, comic strip communicators, snap rings of Captain Kirk or the USS Enterprise insignia, and Star Trek Starfleet game boards. Not one to be left out, Taco Bell jumped into the fray with their own Star Trek promo in 1984, this time celebrating Star Trek III: The Search for Spock. Unlike the previous 2 promotions, however, this one was not for a toy and a kid's meal. With the purchase of a medium or large drink and an additional 69 cents, lucky Taco Bell diners could choose from one of 4 Star Trek glasses. The different designs were cool, but the UFO-like shape of the glass base was particularly alluring, making them feel as if they had actually come from outer space themselves. Not every popular promo was tied to a movie, and arguably one of McDonald's most appealing Happy Meal offerings was one such toy that came out in 1987. They were the McDonald's Changeables, an elite fighting force of fast food robots sent to Earth to defeat the Munchoids from stealing Happy Meals. Changeables were clearly inspired by the Transformers, which premiered on television in 1984 and were still popular at the time of this Happy Meal promotion. It's also interesting to note that these toys included an entire backstory in the commercial, perhaps contributing to the fervor surrounding their release. Another contributing factor was that kids had to return once every week to score each new toy, a common tactic I'm sure parents were simply thrilled about. Even so, the strategy appeared to pay off as the Changeables came back for 2 more series in 1989 and again in 1990 with dinosaur versions of the transforming foods. You want to talk about a match made in heaven? Then we have to discuss Pizza Hut's partnership with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle franchise. Let's face it, one of the major players in franchise pizza was eventually going to snag the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a tie-in sooner or later. It was inevitable, what with the Turtles' insatiable hunger for pizza. It turns out Domino's was first through the gate with a now classic scene in the 1990 movie when the Turtles get pizza delivered to a sewer grate. Unfortunately for Domino's, they didn't secure exclusivity rights because by the time the VHS tape came out, it was Pizza Hut that had a sticker right on the package advertising how to save over $20 with a coupon book inside the box and a commercial that ran before the movie. Following this coup, Pizza Hut furthered their inexorable partnership with TMNT by sponsoring the Coming Out of Their Shells tour, the entirety of the marketing costing reportedly $20 million. They went on to sell over 2 million cassette tapes at $3.99 a pop and gave away free posters and tour books. Though we'll likely take the heat from any fans out there, I have to say if you remember the music on those cassettes, you know selling 2 million of them was quite a feat. Following the tour, Pizza Hut continued their partnership with coupons in the NES game, as well as their logo featured in the game itself, and product placements in the next movie. They've even re-established their affiliation with the new TMNT movie, Mutant Mayhem. Sliding backward in time a bit, our next pick is the 1985 HeMan promotion from Burger King. Since these cups were free with the purchase of a BK meal pack, they had to revert to using plastic rather than the glass we saw for Taco Bell's Star Trek cups. The real draw here were the comic strips printed on the cups and the promise of a new one every week for 4 weeks. No matter how cool these cups are, the commercial's insistence that there were 4 cups to collect and play with is suspect. Collect, sure, but play with it? I don't know about you, but besides drinking from it and reading the comic, the cups didn't factor into much else. It turns out those plastic cups, whether you play with them or not, became a fairly popular option for fast food restaurant promos. Hardee's had Home Alone 2, Ghostbusters 2, and Marvel Comics. Burger King had the aforementioned He-Man cups along with The Lion King and The Simpsons, and McDonald's had the Flintstones and Batman Returns, which it turns out was a bit of a controversy because Taco Bell had made the plastic cups for the first Batman movie. The Taco Bell promotion was a solid offering too. All you had to do was buy a 32-ounce drink and you got the cup plus Cinnamon Twist for free. Sign me up. There's absolutely no way we could talk about fast food promos without mentioning the impressive Super Mario Bros. 3 Happy Meals from McDonald's. 1990 saw the release of one of the best fast food promos ever, according to the Howler Monkeys making me read this anyway. With the meal, you got a branded box covered with fun activities and one of 4 toys, each with their own novelty function. You could get a spring-loaded Mario, Luigi on a pullback cloud car, an air pump Koopa Paratroopa, and a somersaulting Goomba. There was also a 5th under 3 years old toy, which was a stationary Raccoon Mario. While some may lament the gimmicky nature of these toys, they arguably added a fun element to the offerings. McDonald's did something a little different with their 1986 An American Tail promotion and offered books as the Happy Meal toy. We don't see this particular tie-in getting mentioned much in retro circles, and that's likely because most kids know when they're being duped. Still, it deserves to be on the most memorable list, even if it's mostly remembered for being a complete dud. Okay, now that we've completed the requisite I hate books portion of the segment, the truth is, this promotion was low-key awesome. The artwork and the stories in each of the 4 different books were impressive, and for any fan of the movie, it was thrilling to get a little bit more time with some of your favorite characters. No, the books aren't going to rival some of the other promo items we've discussed here today, but McDonald's deserves credit for trying something a little different, and perhaps helping to make some kids avid readers.
Now, as it often happens with sprawling topics we choose here at RetroDaze, there are many more possible additions to this list. In fact, we've purposely held back some picks because next week we begin our Halloween programming for the year, and we're going to revisit the fast food premiums topic with an all-Halloween edition. But before that happens, why not tell us the glaring omissions we left off of this week's list? I'd love to hear about it down in the comments, and if you enjoy our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate Yesteryear right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.